It's good to see you once again. I wonder if I asked you to describe what Jesus was like, how you would describe him. What words would you use? I'm sure you use words like loving, kind, caring. You might describe him as being a teacher and a healer, a friend. I wonder, though, whether you would describe him as being angry and cross. We all have a different image of what Jesus is like. But one of the images that I quite like is this one, the one of the angry Christ. And the reason I like it is not because it's a picture of Jesus getting angry, but because it helps me to realize that Jesus was fully human, that he shared the emotions that I feel and that you feel, so that he can laugh, he can cry, and he got angry. And one of the stories that we hear at this time of year is how he got angry one day in the temple. So angry, in fact, that he overthrew all the tables of the market traders and he drove them out of the temple. It happened just after he arrived in Jerusalem on what we celebrate as Palm Sunday. And here are some pictures of that story, that event. And you can see the chaos in the market. In several of the pictures, you can see Jesus's anger and the fear and the fear of those people around him. In one of the pictures, Jesus is looking a bit more serene and not really angry at all. But you can see the chaos still around him. But as you look at those pictures, I'm going to retell that story for you. I remember that day well. It was nearly Passover, and the temple courts, they were crowded. There were men selling cattle and sheep and doves, and others were sitting at tables exchanging money. But then the next thing I knew, Jesus was making a whip out of cords and he began to drive the animals out of the temple. There were cows and sheep charging about everywhere, and the doves were flying around as he let them out of their cages. He scattered the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. And he began shouting, "Get out of here! How dare you turn my father's house into a marketplace?" As I look back now, I remember that the ancient prophets had written, "Zeal for God's house will overwhelm me." We could see it there with our own eyes. And then the Jews, well, they demanded of Jesus, "What miraculous sign can you show us to prove your authority to do all this?" And so Jesus answered them. He said to them, "I can destroy this temple and I will raise it in 3 days." Well, they laughed at him and said, It's taken 46 years to build this temple, and you're going to raise it in 3 days. But after the resurrection, the 3 days began to make sense to us. I wonder what you liked best about that story. I wonder what you think is the most important part of that story. I wonder how Jesus's followers, his friends, felt when they saw Jesus starting to drive out the animals and overturn the tables, causing the chaos in the temple. I wonder how the market traders felt being driven out from the temple courts. I wonder how the priests and the Pharisees felt when they saw Jesus doing what he was doing. I wonder what those who were visiting the temple that day felt. I can see why Jesus got angry that day. The temple courts were the place where ordinary people could go. Women and men, Jews and non-Jews or Gentiles. It was the place in the temple that anyone could go and to pray. It was the outer court, and it was here that there was a market getting in the way of people praying and worshipping God. For only a select few could go beyond this area into the temple, and even fewer could go into the heart of the temple, into the inner sanctum. And so this place that was open to anyone to come and to pray and to worship God had been turned into a marketplace. And so you can see why Jesus was angry. It was a righteous anger, if you like. He was standing up for the people, the ordinary people who were being pushed out of the temple and away from God. So I wonder what makes you angry. It might be that you get angry when someone does something to hurt you or a friend. You might get angry when you're frustrated about something, and it's the only way you know of letting your emotions out. Or you might get angry when you see what's going on in the world. When you see racism, when you see the effects of climate change, and the abuse of nature. And it's okay to get angry sometimes. It's okay to let your emotions out. Especially if you're angry about something and what you're doing is wanting to change that so that life can be better for other people. What we need to be careful of is how we use that anger, how we use our emotions so that we don't hurt someone in the process. So let's spend a moment of quiet thinking about the story, maybe looking at these pictures and thinking about what makes you angry. Loving God, we thank you for the fact that Jesus was fully human and experienced the emotions that we experience of love, of laughter, of joy, of hurt, and of anger. We thank you that he was able to use his anger to bring about change, to help other people come close to you. Help us to be in touch with our own emotions. Help us to be willing to share how we feel. And if we're angry, help us to talk about that anger. So that we can help change a situation to make it better for all people. Amen. Well, thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye.